you just released your album yesterday.
That's right.
Yeah. Tell me what that was like in this environment.
Well, everything's always it's been a bit more subdued than you'd have normally. But I think weirdly because we're kind of used to it a bit now as well, aren't we? So we I suppose you just adapt, and so it was still, we've still been able to kind of enjoy the lead up to the record. And
oh, good, yeah,
and everything.
Because your ninth album, is that right?
That's right. It's the ninth one.
So you've done a few, so it's nice to have something different.
Yeah, it gives it a different slant.
Yeah. And so, are you doing gigs or anything? Did you play out last night or what?
No, we didn't. We're going to play gigs early next year. We were hoping to do some in September of this year, but it was just too difficult to do that. So again, you just have to be prepared for things to take a different course.
Fair enough. So tell me a little bit about the background around Fantasy Island. Where was it recorded and when?
Well, we recorded it in Liverpool,
right?
And that was we've got a kind of small studio in an old house, which is Hartley's house. He's the other band member,
right?
And we've been lucky enough to be able to record ourselves for quite a few years now. So we just kind of shut ourselves away and get into the recorder, and because there's no restrictions on the time, that you can try all kinds of stuff, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't matter, and and all of that. So
you haven't annoyed a lot of people.
Yeah, that's right. So we started doing that in 2019,
right,
with recording. So we did that, and then we got someone else to mix the songs. So that worked out well, a bit of to do it yourselves, but then to have some objectivity, someone else coming into it, at a later stage.
Yeah. So when you're in the studio, who's doing what? What kind of roles do you guys take?
We kind of both do everything.
Okay.
So we kind of just swapping around. And part of what we do is just to try different instruments and things on it. Even if we're pretty crap at playing them, that's all part of it, sort of thing. So, that's we take turns in recording the other person playing something and all that. So it's, I think it's a nice sort of equal setup.
Right. So I assume you've been working together for a long time. Is it almost kind of like second nature? You guys know what each other is going to do, or how does it work?
Yeah, a lot of it's like that, where you have like your own shortcuts, and even just kind of things like eye contact and things like that. You can really tell, you don't need to explain things too much, because we do know each other that well.
Because your previous album just came out in 2019, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so
you guys are on a roll.
Yeah, that's I think because we're just into making the music, that we sort of we don't really stop, as far as say thinking of it as an album and then that closes down. So it's just to try and keep going with it, and that for us makes it feel alive, really.
Yep. Now I was interested to see that you covered "I Can't Stand the Rain," the old Ann Peebles tune. What brought that on?
I can't stand the rain against my window, bringing back sweet memories. Hey, window pane, do you remember how sweet it used to be?
Yeah. Well, we'd never done a cover version before, and it was something we kind of steered clear of. But we thought if we were going to do one, we may as well do something which is a bit more kind of outside of what people would expect, and just something with a bit of humour as well. So we thought, why, in our own twisted way, it felt like a poppier album for us. So we thought, why not have a pop cover version on it?
Right. And I assume you were pretty familiar with the original, and And
Yeah, we like the original. Yeah, so I love all that kind of 60s and 70s sort of pop music.
right. Are you a record collector at all, or do you have any?
I am a kind of more a collector of music rather than a collector of kind of like limited editions and stuff
Right,
like that.
sure, yeah,
So
yeah.
I've got quite a lot of albums and CDs and stuff, and I've always just been into that, listening to demos or outtakes and stuff rather than having like rare editions of things, I suppose.
Right. Yep. Yeah. Well, it sounds cool. So the album begins with a tune called "The Lamplighter." Now, do you guys think in terms of sequencing and what's going to start it off and what's going to finish it? Is that how you approach making the record?
Remember the limelight, champagne and roses, and the song. Whatever they tell you, whatever they sell you, you're wrong.
Yeah, we did. I mean, we had the sort of pool of songs, and then this was really the first record where we had a lot of time, I suppose with the way it came in with the lockdown,
Yep.
that we could get away from the album, come back to it, and kind of give you that objectivity, so we could see it as a bit more like a 30-minute kind of bit of entertainment, so rather than being kind of self-absorbed with it, you could look at it and what would this be like for the kind of listener a lot more, that was I think that helped a lot.
Right. And so why did you start out with The Lamplighter then? What does that kind of bring to your mind? It brings it that you should open with.
Yeah, in my mind, that kind of the mood of it, I think it's quite a kind of an older sounding bit of music.
Right.
The way the melody is, it almost reminds me like 1940s or 50s sort of
right.
feel to it. Yeah. And it seemed like a bit of that unfolding type of song, where it was a good introductory thing that just leads you in. It kind of starts off a bit softer and then goes into the kind of dubby, distorted bits, so it's, I thought, it was a bit of I could imagine playing that first live at a gig or something.
Yeah, okay. And it's followed by a tune called Fine Dining, which I see there's a video for. So
yeah,
tell me about the making of the video and the writing of the song.
Fine dining, fine dining, no scruples, with no scruples.
Yeah, the fine dining was it was a good chance to have a few puns about food,
right,
in the song, and that was the idea was to kind of for the second song to be a bit of a kind of poppier, as you say, like it was out as a single, so and that was kind of setting our stall out a bit, really, that we were using a lot more sort of keyboards and synths and stuff like that, and I think you kind of get that a bit sort of 80s Kraftwerk Human League sort of thing coming through on that one.
Right. Is that kind of, were you into that stuff when it was coming out originally?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was. I mean, since doing this album, looking back at that time, it just seemed like such an education, really, with the music, and it was just all everywhere.
Yep.
And you get so many different styles of music, so it was really exciting, I think, for that to come out, as an alternative to just guitar music.
Yep. There was definitely a lot happening in the 80s there. It was full of everything.
Yeah.
And of course, speaking of nostalgia, I mean, I've just been delving into the Beatles' Let It Be reissue that just came out this past week. And of course, they were from Liverpool as well. So, and they kind of must loom over everything. Does it feel like that to you?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and I think that's kind of right as well.
Right.
Really, because I think again, if you look back, that was a complete sort of moment in time, wasn't it? It was just like the birth of everything, just after rock and roll and the way it all expanded. So I think in terms of scale and numbers of record buyers and everything, we'll probably never match that again. So I think
Got to keep trying, though.
yeah, I'm sure everyone will keep trying for years to come.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think whether you like the music or not, that they definitely, where it's probably still are the biggest bands.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. So do you listen to much contemporary music other than your own? Are there?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I always sort of try and keep up with new music. I think that's quite vital, really, to if you're making music yourself, rather than just getting where you just keep going back to your original sources. I think that you can just exhaust that after a while.
Yeah. Yep. And when you do listen to other music like that, what do you listen for? Is it like a sense of melody? Is it the technology that they're using? Is it production value?
Yeah, it's a good point. I think that's it's bound to be a mixture, but I think maybe the thing that really hits me or I notice is just if something isn't quite following the rules, or if it's something which is outside of a general trend at the moment, then that seems, you think, oh, there's something a bit braver to that, and it draws you in.
Right. Now, we've talked about a couple of tracks on the record. Are there any that are particular favorites of yours that you want to?
Favorites of mine, yeah, I love Refractions in the Rain.
Okay.
Just because that's a bit more of a kind of bonkers sort of like dance disco type of track.
People that play the music, join the people that play the music. Any old way you choose it, say the people that play the music.
Right.
And that kind of weirder effects on the vocals and everything. So, I mean, I suppose we've always been known as a bit of a like psychedelic sort of thing, and it was good to try and do that with a different style to different genre sort of thing.
Sure. Do you worry about what your fans previously are expecting from you?
I did slightly with that, but then I think we're lucky in that people want us to try different things, or and that we're usually at our best when we're doing that. Even if it kind of misses the mark of what your original idea was,
right?
It's still kind of a bit like a new territory for you, which is usually the best place to be.
Right. So I kind of interrupted you. So were you going to say more about Refractions, or did you have another song you wanted to talk about?
I was just going to say, apart from Refractions, I think my other favorite is Feelings on it, which is a bit more of a kind of atmospheric, slow, groovy sort of song. But I was really pleased with just the feel of that. It's got a nice late night sort of feel.
Cool. So when you do go out and do gigs, do the songs change shape or form or evolve in any way?
Yeah, I think at heart we're quite kind of almost like a punk band, really. Where there's a sort of edge to it.
Yeah.
So usually live, the songs are a bit kind of perhaps a bit faster, or definitely more primitive sound. And I think that comes out, because you can't have all the overdubs and finesse that it's got on the record. So I think, yeah, it is quite primitive live.
Were you a punk fan as well?
Yeah, I was. I mean, I think just because I was a big music all round music fan, you know,
Yeah.
I love a lot of American punk music, you know, 70s punk, things like Crime,
Oh,
sort
Crime.
of decadent.
I have the
Yeah,
crime. I have that record.
have you? Yeah,
Yes, I do. I haven't thought about it in
yeah, they
years.
were such a great band, you know, it was, great rock and roll, sort of punk.
Yep, yep, yep.
Uh, so yeah, I always loved that. And then obviously Sex Pistols as well, you know, so you know, British punk.
Yep, yep, yep. So what is the plan for you guys now that the record is just come out? What are you going to be doing in the next week or so?
In the next week or so, we're still doing sort of bits and bobs, you know, with around the album and
Right.
bits of promotion and stuff. I mean, because like we were saying earlier, with the lockdown, it feels like you're playing catch up a bit. So we're kind of planning what we're going to do for early next year. Hopefully, if we don't have another big lockdown.
Right, right. And are you any more videos, anything to do with this record that kind of on the creative side?
I think, yeah, possibly we will do another video and another track off the album. You know, I think possibly we might release Feelings as a single.
Well, there you go. Yeah, since it's one of your favorites.
Yeah, yeah. So it works out okay.
Yeah.
So it's normally at the end of an album release it would go sort of quiet, but I think now it's a bit different because of the lockdown situation. You know, it's like more ongoing.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it is very different. Everybody's kind of dealing with it in their own way, and people seem to be kind of on one hand more accessible and able. They have more time on their hands, but also they're kind of in a weird kind of mind frame. So. Have you?
Yeah, they are, aren't they? Yeah, it's like you've got more time perhaps at home, but it's more time to have all these thoughts just whizzing around your head, isn't it?
Right. So is that the sunlight coming in on you?
Sunlight.
Is it? Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it is a bit. Yeah.
It suddenly got very bright, and it's like, oh,
yeah,
that's fantastic.
A religious moment.
Exactly right. All right. Well, plan on trying to come down here and play for us. We'd like to hear what this sounds like.
Oh yeah, that would be great. I mean, I say I've never been to New Zealand, you know, just to visit, but certainly to play would be great. I mean, I think we'll push to try and sort that out next year. You know, that will be something new for us. You know,
hopefully things will have opened up by then and things will get normal.
Yeah, you never know. We might get back to normal.
Whatever that is. Very good. Yeah. Well, thanks for talking to me about all this. Is great.
No, thank you. Yeah, nice to speak to you.
You too. Have a great day.
And have a good weekend.
Thanks.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.